The Cold War, a period of geopolitical struggle between the United States and the Soviet Union, lasted from the end of World War II in 1945 until the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991. This era was defined not just by its political standoffs and arms race, but also by a pervasive sense of uncertainty and fear. In the United States, this fear manifested in various forms, from civil defense drills in schools to propaganda campaigns promoting the building of personal fallout shelters. But one of the most significant, yet often overlooked, aspects of this era were the bunkers. These were not just simple shelters. They were complex, fortified structures designed to withstand nuclear blasts and provide long-term protection. Across the nation, from remote countryside to urban centers, these bunkers were constructed in secret, their locations and purposes known only to a few. Some were nestled deep underground, hidden beneath innocent-looking buildings or natural landscapes, while others were in plain sight, their true nature disguised by mundane exteriors. Each bunker has a tale to tell, a piece of a larger puzzle that was the Cold War. Their silent halls and abandoned corridors speak volumes about a time when the world teetered on the brink of destruction, yet hoped for peace. Chapter 2. The construction and purpose of these bunkers. The United States government, aware of the devastating potential of nuclear warfare, initiated numerous projects to build bunkers across the country. These bunkers were designed to be self-sufficient fortresses, capable of withstanding direct nuclear strikes and providing shelter for weeks, months, or even years if necessary. Their walls, often several feet thick, were made of reinforced concrete and steel, designed to endure the immense pressure and heat of a nuclear blast. Inside, these bunkers were equipped with state-of-the-art technology of the time. They had their own power generators, air filtration systems, and water purification units. The bunkers were stocked with food, medical supplies, and other necessities to support their occupants for extended periods. Communication equipment was also a critical feature, ensuring that those inside could maintain contact with the outside world, or what might have remained of it. The purposes of these bunkers varied. Some were built to serve as command centers, from where military and government officials could continue to operate in the event of a nuclear war. These command bunkers were equipped with sophisticated communication and surveillance systems, allowing leaders to make critical decisions and, if needed, coordinate a response to an attack. Other bunkers had more specialized functions. Some were built to house key military personnel or to safeguard critical infrastructure components, such as missile silos and control centers. There were also bunkers designed as shelters for civilians, though these were far less common and often less fortified than their military counterparts. Interestingly, the construction of these bunkers was often shrouded in secrecy. Their locations were carefully chosen to maximize security and minimize exposure. Some were built under existing buildings or in remote areas, away from prying eyes and potential targets. The workers involved in their construction were usually sworn to secrecy, and in many cases, the full details of these projects remained classified for decades. Chapter 3. Famous Cold War bunkers across the U.S. Each of these bunkers not only served a critical function during their time but also holds intriguing tales from an era shrouded in mystery and intrigue. The Greenbrier Bunker, West Virginia. Hidden beneath the luxurious Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia lies one of the most fascinating secrets of the Cold War era. This massive bunker, codenamed Project Greek Island, was built in the late 1950s to serve as an emergency relocation center for the United States Congress in the event of a nuclear attack. The existence of this bunker remained a top government secret for over 3 decades until it was finally revealed in 1992. The bunker, spanning over 112,000 square feet, was equipped to accommodate over 1,100 people. It included a massive auditorium, meeting rooms, an extensive communications area, and even a chamber for the House of Representatives and the Senate. One of the most intriguing features was the advanced air filtration system, designed to protect the occupants from nuclear fallout. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex, Colorado. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex, located just outside Colorado Springs, is another iconic bunker from the Cold War era. Carved into a mountain and built to withstand a 30-megaton nuclear explosion, this bunker was the command center for NORAD, North American Aerospace Defense Command. Operational from the 1960s, this facility was the hub for monitoring North American airspace for potential Soviet attacks. The complex was a marvel of engineering, featuring 15 three-story buildings mounted on massive springs to absorb shockwaves, and it was entirely self-sufficient, with its own power plant, water supply, and air filtration system. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex remained fully operational until 2006 when operations were moved to Peterson Air Force Base, though it remains on warm standby and can be reactivated if necessary. The Raven Rock Mountain Complex, Pennsylvania. Also known as Cedar, the Raven Rock Mountain Complex near Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, was designed to serve as an alternative Pentagon. This bunker was intended to be a relocation site for the Department of Defense in case of a nuclear attack and has been operational since the early 1950s. The complex consists of a network of tunnels and buildings, capable of housing thousands of military and civilian personnel. It's equipped with all the necessities for prolonged underground living and operations, including power generation, water supply, and extensive communication systems. Rumors and stories suggest that Raven Rock has an elaborate labyrinth of tunnels connecting it to other government facilities, although many of these claims remain unverified. The Titan Missile Museum, Arizona. While not a bunker in the traditional sense, the Titan Missile Museum in Sahuarita, Arizona, offers a unique glimpse into the Cold War's nuclear arms race. This former Titan II missile silo, now a museum, once housed a 103-foot-tall intercontinental ballistic missile, a powerful symbol of the nuclear tensions of the era. Visitors to the museum can explore the Launch Control Center, the crew quarters, and the massive silo itself, which still houses a deactivated Titan II missile. The site serves as a stark reminder of the destructive power that was at the fingertips of world leaders during the Cold War. The Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center, Virginia. Mount Weather, located in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, is a secretive government complex known to be a major relocation site for high-level officials, including the President of the United States, in case of a national emergency. The facility includes a variety of administrative and residential areas, a hospital, power plant, and the FEMA National Emergency Coordination Center. While much of Mount Weather's operations and infrastructure remain classified, it's known that the site played a crucial role during events like the September 11th attacks, when many government officials were evacuated there. These bunkers, now part of history, offer us a window into a time when the world seemed perpetually on the brink of nuclear war. They stand as reminders of a period when fear and uncertainty were part of everyday life, but also of the resilience and ingenuity of those who prepared to face the unthinkable. Chapter 4. Life inside the bunkers. These bunkers, designed as self-contained worlds, were equipped to sustain life under the most extreme conditions, and the experience of those who might have inhabited them is both fascinating and sobering. Life inside a bunker during an alert would have been strictly regimented. In military bunkers like Cheyenne Mountain, personnel would follow a military routine, with designated times for meals, work, and rest. Civilians in bunkers like the Greenbrier would have experienced a more improvised routine, but still under the constraints of the bunker environment. One of the key concerns would have been staying informed about the situation outside. In bunkers like Cheyenne Mountain, sophisticated communication systems would provide updates on the global situation. In other bunkers, information might have been more limited, adding to the stress and uncertainty of the situation. The psychological strain on bunker inhabitants would have been immense. The constant fear of what was happening outside, combined with the claustrophobic environment, and the awareness of being among the few survivors of a nuclear holocaust, would take a heavy toll. Efforts would have been made to maintain morale and mental health, but the unprecedented nature of this situation would make this a significant challenge. These bunkers were stocked with enough supplies to sustain their occupants for extended periods. This included food, which would likely be rationed to ensure long-term survival, medical supplies, and tools for repairs and maintenance. The ability to be self-sufficient was crucial, as it was unknown when it would be safe to emerge or if there would be anything to come out to. Understanding the importance of morale, some bunkers included provisions for entertainment and recreation. This could range from books and board games to more elaborate facilities. For example, the Greenbrier bunker included a television studio, where broadcasts could be made to keep the occupants informed and entertained. Regular training and drills would be part of life in these bunkers, ensuring that everyone knew what to do in various scenarios. This would be especially true in military bunkers, where readiness to respond to the evolving situation was paramount. It's also important to acknowledge the support staff who would keep these bunkers running. From cooks and cleaners to technicians and medical staff, these individuals would play a crucial role in maintaining the functionality and livability of the bunker. Life in a Cold War bunker would have been unlike anything those inside had ever experienced, or would experience again. It would be a life defined by the unique pressures of surviving a nuclear catastrophe, a testament to the fears and preparations during one of the most tense periods in modern history. Chapter 5: Decommissioning and Abandonment. As the Cold War thawed and the immediate threat of nuclear conflict receded, many of these once crucial bunkers were decommissioned and abandoned. The primary factor in the decommissioning of these bunkers was the end of the Cold War. With the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 and the easing of global tensions, the perceived need for such extensive preparations diminished. This shift marked a significant reduction in funding and strategic importance for these facilities. Another factor was the rapid advancement in technology. Many of the bunkers, built in the 1950s and 1960s, quickly became outdated as new defense and communication technologies emerged. The cost of upgrading these facilities to modern standards was often deemed prohibitive, leading to their abandonment. The nature of global threats and defense strategies also evolved. The focus shifted from large-scale nuclear war to more localized conflicts and non-state threats, such as terrorism. This change rendered many of the bunkers, designed specifically for nuclear warfare, obsolete. Decommissioning these bunkers was not a simple process. It involved deactivating and removing sensitive equipment, dealing with any hazardous materials, and securing the sites to prevent unauthorized access. In some cases, the land was repurposed or sold, but in others, the bunkers were simply sealed and left intact. With time, many of these abandoned bunkers have been rediscovered and given new life. Some, like the Titan Missile Museum in Arizona, have been turned into educational sites. Others have been repurposed for different uses. For instance, several bunkers have been transformed into data centers, taking advantage of their secure and climate-controlled environments. In recent years, there has been growing interest in preserving these sites as historical landmarks. They serve as powerful reminders of the Cold War era and are valuable for educational and research purposes. Preservation efforts, however, are often complicated by the costs involved and the challenge of making these sites safe and accessible to the public. The story of these bunkers doesn't end with their decommissioning. Instead, it evolves into a narrative about how societies move on from periods of conflict and how remnants of the past can find new purposes in the present. Chapter 6: Present State, Rediscovery and Exploration. The rediscovery of these bunkers has often been led by urban explorers and historians, drawn by the allure of uncovering hidden chapters of history. These explorers navigate risks and legal challenges to document and share their findings, offering the public a glimpse into these forgotten spaces. Many of these bunkers, left to the elements, have deteriorated over the years. Rust, decay, and overgrowth are common sights. However, this state of abandonment adds to their mystique, making them time capsules that capture a moment frozen in history. The stark contrast between their current dilapidated state and their former importance is a poignant reminder of the transient nature of human endeavors. While some bunkers have been preserved as museums or repurposed, many remain in a state of neglect. This has prompted efforts by historians and preservationists to document these sites before they are lost to time. Photographs, videos, and written accounts of these explorations are crucial in preserving the history and stories of these bunkers. There is a growing public interest in these sites, driven by curiosity about the Cold War and the desire to connect with the past. However, accessibility remains an issue. Some bunkers are on private property or in dangerous conditions, making them inaccessible to the general public. This has led to a reliance on virtual tours and documentaries to satisfy public curiosity. Artists and filmmakers have also been drawn to these bunkers, using them as backdrops for artistic and cultural projects that interpret and reflect on the Cold War era. These creative interpretations provide new ways of understanding and engaging with this period in history. The rediscovery of these bunkers has significant educational value. They serve as tangible links to the Cold War, offering lessons on history, politics, and the human response to existential threats. For educators and students, these sites provide a powerful tool for learning and reflection. The current state of these Cold War bunkers, from decay to preservation, mirrors the journey of coming to terms with this period in history. In closing, these bunkers, once symbols of a world divided, now serve as bridges to our past, guiding us towards a future where the lessons of history inform our actions. They are more than just structures. They are silent custodians of history, holding within their walls the stories of an era that shaped the modern world. Make sure to check out our video about 10 abandoned military bases in Texas. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching and see you next time for more Ghost Town Chronicles.